Like I said, stuff dads never say. Yep. Happy Father's Day, guys. Jimmy, happy Father's Day, dude. Brian, John, whenever he gets back. Grandpa, happy Father's Day. And, to any dads who might be watching this at some point in the future, happy Father's Day to you guys too. I may not know you, but we appreciate you. I was just going to continue on the series of Chase the Lion this morning, but at about 3 o'clock this morning, I got up and had to use the restroom. Us guys know about this thing all too well. I go upstairs. I sit down on the toilet where a lot of my deep revelations and stuff like that come from. And it hit me. This week, we don't need to talk about why we chase the lion. This week, we need to revisit a topic from the last series on being a warrior. And so, dads, buckle your seatbelts. Moms, don't take a nap. Kids, just sit there and be cute and stuff. But on being a warrior, out of every 100 men, 10 of them shouldn't even be there. 80 are just targets. 9 are the real fighters, and we're lucky to have them, for they make the battle. But one is a warrior, and he will bring the others back. Guys, that's why we do the things we do. We get up every day, we go to work at a job that maybe doesn't appreciate our efforts. Maybe some of us have been doing a job for so long that we've grown from loving it to hating it to, oh, it's just another day. Because I can tell you, my dad, Craig, he was a very devoted man. He worked a job for 25 years that he hated. Hated every minute of it. Just so that me and my brother and sister were taken care of. So Mom was taken care of. He hated his job. He would tell me all the time, Chris, we all have to do things we don't want to do. He goes, look at me. I hate what I do. I don't want to do it. I'm good at it. That's the only reason I stay there. And dads, sometimes we got to do what we don't want to do simply because it's the right thing to do. When we talk about being a warrior, what we have to understand is this. It's not just fighting and battle and blood, sweat, and tears and things of that nature. There are some specific qualities that warriors have to have, that warriors have to possess. And a lot of what I have today is going to be some quotes, some scripture, and some personal reflection that I have kind of come to my own realization of over the past few years. In Psalm chapter 18, David's writing here. He's the king by this point. And he says a few very telling things. In Psalm 18, verse 31 is where we're going to start. And he says, "For who is God except the Lord? Or who is a rock besides our God? It is God who clothes me with strength and gives my way integrity. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer and causes me to stand on my high places. He trains my hands for war so that my arms bend a bow of bronze. You have given me the shield of your salvation, and your right hand has held me up, and your gentleness has made me great. You have lengthened my stride under me so that my feet do not slip. I pursue my enemies and overtake them. I do not turn until they are destroyed. I wound them, and they are not able to rise. They are fallen under my feet. For you clothed me with strength for the battle. You subdued under me those who rose up against me. You gave me the necks of my enemies, and I destroyed those who hate me. They cried for help, but there was none to save them. Even to the Lord, but he did not answer them. Then I beat them, small as the dust before the wind. I cast them out as the dirt in the streets. You have delivered me from the hostilities of the people, and you have made me the head of nations." David. Yeah, kids, David. Anybody ever hear of David? Yeah, David and Goliath. Dude that killed a giant.
I know. He only had a slingshot and a one rock.
Yeah, he had a slingshot and a rock. Yep.
Homemade slingshot.
Yep. So, David started out as a shepherd boy, turned into a mighty warrior, had to run and hide for his life, became king, subdued nations, because I don't know if anybody ever really noticed this in Scripture, but throughout Israel's history, they had this one enemy that just never could, they never could get over the hump, the Philistines. Goliath was a Philistine, and David killed Goliath. Okay? But the Israelites had this problem with this nation called the Philistines, and they never could beat them. So why is it that after David becomes king, you never hear about him again? David dealt with that problem swiftly and decisively. Who are the Philistines that are trying to take hold of your family, guys? What are the things, what are the thoughts and imaginations that are trying to take hold of your family, and you haven't, up to this point, been able to figure out, how do I fight it? How do I stop it? How do I destroy it? How do I keep it from coming back? Well, you have to have a few things. And then I'm using a lot of quotes out of my book called Training for Warriors. And it's actually a workout book, but there's a lot of good stuff in here that applies to qualities that warriors have to possess. And kids, I want you to listen to this, because these are the things that people expect of you as you grow. Work on developing these things, because they'll carry you a long way. A warrior has to have vision. Attila the Hun once said, superficial goals lead to superficial results. Is the goals that you have just what you can see? just for you and your family right now? Or do you have a vision that carries you long after you're dead and gone? Long after your kids are dead and gone, and long after theirs are dead and gone. That's the kind of vision that you need to have and carry with you. And while he's not my favorite boxer of all time, Muhammad Ali had some good things to say about vision. He said, champions aren't made in gyms. Champions are made from something they have deep inside of them. A desire, a dream, a vision. They have to have last-minute stamina. They have to be a little faster. They have to have the skill and the will, but the will must be stronger than the skill. Because everybody's a good fighter in their mind, but you get punched in the mouth, how good are you then? We have to have vision. David had vision. David didn't just see Goliath as the end game. David saw Goliath as one obstacle trying to get in the way of his purpose. Like we talked about last week, your purpose. Why do you get up every day? Does it go beyond the here and the now to the there and the then? David had that kind of a mindset. Otherwise, why would he have, after he killed Goliath, he could have rested on his laurels. Hey, this is David, the dude that killed Goliath, and he's the man. But he didn't do that. Every time Saul, the king at the time, had an impossible task that he felt like couldn't be done, he sent David because David got the job done. I mean, at one point, David killed hundreds of men all by himself. This is how bad of a man that David was. And this is before he was even 18 years old. Yes, David had his shortcomings. Lust of the eyes, pride of life, everything that men in today's day and age struggle with, David struggled with, but he came out on the other end better. But sometimes we allow the things that happen to us to beat us down and to keep us there. We get to the point where we just don't care anymore. Why am I fighting for? It's obviously not going to work. Everything I've done up to this point hasn't worked, so why would I try this new thing? It's not going to work either. That's what David had to listen to out of his friends and family even. It can't be done, David. It can't be done. And even if it could be done, you can't do it. And David was one of those people, his pride to a point, but the Spirit of God inside of him said, watch me. And then he did it. So you see, guys, you're not facing struggles that other people haven't faced before. But the thing is, number two, do you have the courage to stand? The samurai used to say, whenever you meet difficult situations, dash forward bravely and joyfully. Difficult situations, dash forward bravely and joyfully. And then Alexander the Great, one of the greatest generals ever in the history of ever, the whole life, as I call it. He once said, it is men who endure toil and danger that achieve glorious deeds. And it is a wonderful thing to live with courage and to die leaving behind an everlasting renown. And think about the temporary vision that Alexander the Great had. Conquer the world. Okay? Once the world's been conquered, what now? That's why he died. Because he had no more battles to fight. The whole thing was his. He who dies with the most toys wins. No, he who dies with the most toys still dies. And you take none of it with you. Why do you think the kingdom that Alexander the Great conquered ended up being split amongst different factions? Because nobody else had the same vision that Alexander the Great did. Then you have the samurai again that says, take arrows in your forehead, but never in your back. Don't run. Don't cower and hide in a corner like a scared little kindergartner. Face it. You've got problems. Guess what? Everybody does. I've got problems. A lot of people don't know this, but I've got problems. Right now, things are going pretty good for me, but I still have those times up here where I second guess myself, where I had a moment this last week where I was with my wife in the kitchen and I just kind of looked at her and I said, do you believe in me? We have those times, guys. Face it. Deal with it. Learn from it. Grow from it and move on. David had courage. I mean, who in their right mind chases down a lion, takes a lamb out of its mouth, strikes it and kills it? Who in their right mind is going to do that? Isaac, are you going to run after a lion and try to kill it? Really? A bear. A bear comes and takes a lamb. David runs after it, snatches the lamb out of the bear's mouth, and kills the bear. He kills Goliath. He kills 300 men in one shot at one point in time. But he still second-guessed himself. One time he counted the army of Israel. God specifically told him not to. But he did it anyway. And God had to discipline him for his disobedience. He allowed the nation of Israel to lose a very crucial battle because of David's disobedience. Do we have discipline? Self-discipline. There was once this wise man named Sun Tzu from The Art of War. He said, victory is reserved for those who are willing to pay the price. What does victory look like in your life right now? What does it look like in your life right now? And only you can answer that question in your own mind. What does victory look like? And then you have to answer this question. Am I doing the things that it takes to win? Not just survive. Guys, survival is beneath you. Winning, victory, thriving. That is what you strive for. When I was working out in martial arts on a regular basis, There was a coach, well, one of my instructors, who said, hard training, easy fight. Easy training, hard fight. You're only going to win the battles that you're willing to train, to sweat, to strive, to pray through, to study through, to even when everything is saying, you can't. You will. You know, to use an adage from the world that's become popular these days, you can't hold my beer. You got to have that kind of a mindset. Or like when we were kids, hey Mom, look, no hands. Mom probably about had a coronary some of those times. And then the gas bomb in the field incident. We won't revisit that one. Shh, they only think it happened once. But day after day, and guys, we know this all too well. Moms, we know this all too well. Day after day, you have to train your heart out. You have to refine your technique. You don't feel like you're a good parent? What are the things that you're doing to correct the things that you feel like need to be corrected? What are you doing? Or are you just sitting there, oh, I stink. I stink as a dad. I stink as a mom. Oh, heck. I'm just plain old stink. You have to refine the tools that you have and turn your weaknesses into strengths. You have to use the things that you do well to defeat the many things that you don't. That's discipline. That's the way of the warrior. And did David have discipline? Oh yeah. In spades. Because like I said, who in their right mind is willing to sleep in a cave just to wait out your enemies? Discipline. Who in their right mind is willing to deprive himself of something good that he wants to eat or drink just to keep his men strengthened and fed? David. He had discipline. Do you have self-control, guys? That's one of my weak spots. Self-control. I'm training to be Santa Claus. But I can't stand facial hair or long hair. So I better stop training for that and start training for better things. General Patton once said, if a man does his best, what more is there? And only you know what your best is, because if you have self-control, you're going to devote yourself to the things that you need to devote yourself to. Do you have patience? That's funny, no? Confucius once said, it doesn't matter how slowly you go so long as you don't stop. keep going. Kind of like that movie, Facing the Giants, you know, the death crawl. The dude with the other dude on his back doing that bear death crawl, he thinks he's only going 50 yards. But by the time the coach is done with him, he's gone 100. Why? Because he heard that voice in his head. Well, and he also heard that voice in his ear saying, don't stop, don't quit. You only have 10 more steps. You only have 9 more steps. Don't stop, don't quit. How many of us guys are ready to stop and quit? It's so hard. Life is hard. Life is hard. Kids, this is a lesson you need to learn as much as your parents do. Life is going to be hard. Life is going to punch you in the mouth. Life is going to knock you down and try to keep you down. You can't do that. Get back up. Keep going forward. Don't stop. Sir Winston Churchill during World War II, he said, every day you may make progress. Every step may be fruitful. Yet there will be there will stretch out before you an ever lengthening, ever ascending, ever improving path. You know that you will never get to the end of the journey, but this, so far from discouraging, only adds to the joy and the glory of the climb. Patience. Dads, you guys know about patience. The kid doesn't do what the kid's told to do. First response may not always be the best. First response might be, why didn't you do what I told you to do? Why didn't you do it the first time? Why did I have to tell you again and again and again and again? Mikado, why won't you stop fighting? Come here, I love your face. Give me your face. I want to kiss your face. Patience. You either develop it or life teaches it to you through the struggle. David hadn't learned that. David was anointed king of Israel when he was 13 years old. He didn't become king until he was almost 40. You have to have some patience. Because just because you're anointed king doesn't mean you're ready to be king. Do you have confidence? Some of us don't even have the confidence that it takes to face the world every day. But you have to have some confidence. Samurai General Kenshin Oshogi said, go to the battlefield firmly confident of victory, and you will come home with no wounds whatsoever. Wow. Okay. Anybody, though, who tells me that, it's like King Shamrock once said, you know, all these guys in the early days of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, oh, this guy's undefeated in however many hundreds of fights he's been in. And King Shamrock says, anybody who tells you they're undefeated is either lying to you or they haven't been in enough tough fights. Are you resilient? Are you able to fall down 7 times and get back up 8? Are you willing to endure the grind? David was. Like I said, hiding out in caves, hiding in hills, hiding, running. Even when he was king, he had to run for a little while. His own son was trying to kill him. But he was resilient. He had that innate toughness to endure the battle. One of the heroes of the martial arts, Bruce Lee, once said, defeat is a state of mind. No one is ever defeated until defeat has been accepted as reality. To me, defeat is anything is merely temporary. And its punishment is but an urge for me to greater effort to achieve my goal. Defeat simply tells me that something is wrong in my doing. It is a path leading to success. Bruce Lee was one of my martial arts heroes growing up, man. You know, he was so fast. He was like, he would hit you like 50 times before you even landed one shot. Chuck Norris once said of Bruce Lee, he is impossible to beat. Some of the guys today in the Ultimate Fighting world say Bruce Lee would have been champion whenever and however long he wanted to be. He was that good. Are you committed? Are you committed to being a good husband? A good wife? Are you committed to being a good father? A good mother? Because without commitment, you might as well give up. Because without commitment, all that's left is cowardice. The Spartans used to have a saying, and they would simply say, with it or on it. Either I'm coming back with my shield, or I'm coming back being carried on it because I lost my life in battle. But I'm not going to run. I'm committed to victory. I'm committed to the battle. David was committed to victory. How else did he become the most powerful king in the known world during his time? He was committed. He was committed to something bigger and better and greater than himself. He knew that he was doing it for more than just him. He had an entire nation, an entire family depending on him. And he was not going to let them down, no matter how hard it was. And guys, we understand this concept all too well. Do we have respect? Respect for ourselves, respect for others, peers, respect for superiors. Do we have respect for those who are underneath us? Because sometimes we have to understand that the way of the warrior is based on humanity, love, and sincerity. Do we love? Do we look at our fellow human beings created in the image of God with respect and honor? Are we sincere in thought and deed? Because don't fall over now. Don't fall over and die on me. Stop. Because the mind of the warrior in the end becomes nothing more than seeing things as they truly are and realizing the beauty and the simplicity of life. Life is hard, but it's also pretty simple. Something that Grandpa taught me. You work hard. You don't have anyone doubt your faithfulness. And you're going to get somewhere. It's one thing if you talk to my grandma about me and the qualities that she talks about and me that she likes. He gets up when he needs to get up. He goes to work. He does what he needs to do. And unless I'm stuck in a hospital bed, I don't call in sick. If I have a cold, I'm at work. I have the flu, I'm at work. Unless I'm in a hospital bed, I'm there. You have to have a reputation for that. That way, if you do call in sick, they know he's sick. He doesn't call in sick unless he is. Do you have respect enough for yourself and for others to do that? So, dads, 10 traits that a warrior needs to have, all exemplified in spades by King David in the Old Testament. Was he perfect? Nope. He messed up. He messed up royally, no pun intended, on more than one occasion. But he got back up and he kept moving forward. He fought the battles that needed to be fought. He waged the wars that needed to be waged. And he trusted God in his process. The question I have for you today is, do you? Do you trust God in your process? Or do you say you do, but in all reality you're constantly second guessing, constantly beating your head up against the same brick wall? It's kind of like those toys, you know, with the little motorized toys where they walk. They hit the wall, they bounce off, they hit the wall, they bounce off, they hit the wall, they bounce off, and they keep doing that until they run out of batteries. Are you running out of batteries, guys? Ladies, you running out of batteries? When is enough enough? Because like I said, I had a moment this last week where I looked at my wife and I said, do you believe in me? And sometimes, ladies, all your husbands need to hear is not, why would you ask me something like that? It's not what we need to hear. What we need to hear is, yes, I do. Keep fighting. You got this. It's worth it. Let's go. Because sometimes even you ladies know what it feels like to feel like no matter how hard you try, your husbands aren't going to be happy with you. And what you don't understand is you don't have to earn their approval. You've already got it. Because newsflash, if you didn't have it, they wouldn't have married you. Guys, same thing. Quit trying to earn your wife's approval. You've already got it. If you didn't have it, they wouldn't have married you. Because they could have listened to a lot of other people in their lives and said, oh, there's other fish in the sea. I don't like fish. I like steak. Medium. With some oomph behind it, you know. Put some hair on your chest. Coffee, yeah. But quit trying to earn your spouse's approval. You've already got it. How many of you struggle with trying to earn your dad's approval? You want your dad or somebody else to approve of you so much that you constantly try to do more, try to be more. Because some of you have heard me tell you on more than one occasion, besides my dad's, because I have my birth father, Dad Bruce, I'm going to go see him today. And I have the other man that played a big role in raising me, my stepdad, Craig. And then there's Grandpa. 3 men that I look up to more than anyone in this world. Because I remember one time we were in Home Depot, me and Grandpa were, and it was shortly after my dad Craig passed away. And I was having a moment. And I said, Grandpa, I said, if I can grow to be half the man that you and Dad Craig and Dad Bruce are, I'll be all right. He may not even remember this conversation, but I do. And he said, Chris, we're already there. Dad Craig would be proud of you. I know your dad Bruce is, and he is. And I know that Grandma and Grandpa never say it, but and I know that my mom would never say it. But I'm their pride and joy. I don't do everything right. I ain't perfect. But I try. Do you try? Let's try, guys. ladies, let's try, because you've got some little people that are gonna come up here and they're gonna help me. Because we got to give you dads, some giftage. These kids have worked on these gifts that they're gonna give you. So, Mom Sharon, let's get this shindig started. Golly, that's some cool stuff right there. Brown bags, some white papers, It's always a good thing. Oh, there's my coffee.
First of all, we want to wish all the dads here a very happy Father's Day, and we do all appreciate you.
Yes.
And, we appreciate the fact that you're the fathers of these beautiful children that we have up here, and that I teach every Sunday. They're a big reflection on you, good or bad. Okay. I'll go give that to Daddy.